Well, hi there. I'm Jamie. Hello from Texas. I've been corresponding with you for a while about Mitzi. First of all, I just want to say that I'm really excited to see her new journey as she moves on with you guys and see how much she grows. She's a really great dog, and she has a special place in my heart, and I'm very excited that you guys have her. Down. Good girl. There we go. Good girl, Moo. Good girl. You're a good girl. Down. Good girl. Good. Mitzi, come. Good girl. There we go. Good girl, Mitzi. Move free. Good. Mitzi, come. Good girl. There we go. Good. Good girl. Free. talk about a few things that about like Mitzi's ins and outs and how to control her and have the most successful relationship with you guys as she can. So I'm going to start off with the collar that she's on. She is on a prong collar, as you can see right here. I'm sure you've seen a lot of scary things about prong collars, but as long as they're fit and used correctly, they're a great tool. She has worked her way up to this collar. We actually started off on a slip lead, which is this is actually one I have right here. You can see it's a little fabric thing. She didn't listen to the corrections very well on this. The distractions were way more cool than listening to her obedience commands, so she's actually worked her way up from this collar to a Star Mark plastic prong collar, eventually to this metal collar right here. This is the prong or the pinch collar, you can call it either one. I just wanted to show y'all how it works. So this is how you take it on and off. You're going to push up on these little prongs at the bottom, and you're going to pinch these right here, and it comes apart. Same thing with putting it back together. You're going to pinch these right here, and you're going to put it through the holes there at the bottom. And I'm going to bring that out again. I don't want y'all to make a mistake, because right here, some people put it together, and look, it looks like it's together, but it's actually not. Your dog can't actually escape out of that. So make sure you are pinching it and putting it right here in the bottom of these loops. And there we go. It's good to go. Also, what you're going to be doing with this, you're going to be giving her a little pop. You guys can try this on each other. It's just a little pop on the leash. You're not going crazy or anything like that. We're not giving a hard yank on it or anything of that nature. It's just a little pop correction. I want to make sure you guys as well, whenever you're training her, I want y'all to learn what a pop is. It's just that quick pop and release. A lot of people, if you have any issues with a prong collar or you're scared you might hurt her, I understand in the beginning it's not going to hurt her, but I don't want you guys to go, oh, and give her like pull it for too long, because that's actually giving her more of a correction than what she needs. It's not actually being more gentle, it's actually just prolonging the correction that she's going to get. So just make it fast and give her that quick pop and release on the collar like she needs. So that's the collar for you guys. Also, when you're using this collar, make sure that you're taking it on and off from one of the middle links, like one of these. You can take it off from like the plate right here, but it's really hard to get it back together, so just take it off like one of the middle links for you guys. It's way easier on y'all. Also, say she grows or she gains weight. I don't expect her to. She's a really lean dog. She actually doesn't seem to fluctuate in her weight much at all. But if you ever do need to put an extra link in or take a link out so it fits well, how you do that is the same as like taking it on and off. You're going to move these, and you can literally just take one link out of here. And here's a link. We're going to put that back in because this is already set for her size. Also, say you did have to add in a link. So right here we have 3 links on this side and 4 links on the other side. Make sure that if you ever do need to add or take out a link, that you're trying to make it equal on both sides. See how this one's only off by 1? I don't want to have only like 1 on this side and 5 on this side, because that makes it to where the bite isn't equal. What I mean by the bite is you have this metal plate here in the middle. You want to try to have this equal number on both sides. So when you do give that correction, it's equal all the way around, and it's not just getting her on one side of the neck by having so many on one side. Also, you're going to be connecting your leash to this weird looking ring right here. You have this one right here. That's just a perfect circle. This is called a dead ring. You're not going to use this. You're going to use this weird looking ring right here. Also, y'all are going to have a tab leash that I'm going to send her home with. This awesome thing is when she is off leash or she is in the house, that way she doesn't have to drag around the full 6-foot lead and get entangled all over your furniture and all that kind of crazy stuff. But I'm going to send y'all home with one of these. It's really easy to still be consistent with her without her having to wear that 6-foot leash around the house, or if she is off leash, not having to have her, again, drag around the leash everywhere. She just has this little thing you can give her a pop with that's going to be connected. Come here, me. Good girl. Alright, another thing with this collar is that it should fit high up on the head, right below the jawline and below this back bump on their head. It should be loose enough to where you can rotate it while you're picking it up with like both of your hands. So you can see I can rotate that, but it doesn't have any excess coming off of it. You don't want any of that excess. I mean, see, it has maybe very little, but you don't want that excess coming off of there. When she shakes, it shouldn't move at all. So that's the proper fitting. It should never sit low on the neck. Sometimes it will go down a little bit. Say y'all are training, it'll just fall down a little bit. Just reset it every now and then. It's not super important as long as you do have that correct fit. But that is the proper fit of that collar. Alrighty, so what I'm going to go over next is Mitzi's possible leash reactivity. She hardly ever shows it, if has showed it in the past like 4 months. I don't see it very often. Sometimes what you do see though is whenever you're like taking her out to the pet store, or say you're out in public, if there's like a really crazy dog on another leash, you will sometimes see her like tense up. You're just going to go into obedience mode is what I call it. So you should really already be in obedience mode when you have your dog out in public. But if you don't, just make sure that you do make her start heeling by you. I always keep a safe distance also between the other dog and her. I'm not necessarily worried about her, but I am worried about the other dog maybe jumping on her, or maybe the other dog not being so friendly. So I do keep that safe distance from other dogs. You can still heel her right past other dogs. Like if they're being respectful and they're just walking like normal dogs, kind of ignoring her, don't worry about it at all. What I'm really worried about is those dogs that are at the end of the leash just going crazy at her, barking, causing ruckus. Just put her in obedience mode and kind of get her out of that situation. But if you do have to take her in that situation, just, like I said, just obedience mode. Heel her right past it. Get the quickest way to get away from that other crazy dog. But if she does do that, say y'all are in public and she was going to start like growling, or you sometimes can see her like tense up whenever another dog's being crazy. Like she'll start to bow up and stand up, her tail goes straight up and her ears kind of perk up a little bit. That is something to watch for, is just her body language. I'm hoping I can get a video of that for you, but hopefully I can explain it good enough to where you'll kind of understand. It's just like a look of arousal, interest. She just kind of, it's almost like she stands up on her tiptoes and her tail gets high. Like I said, those ears perk up and she's just really in tune to that other dog. We're going to, like I said, put her in obedience mode. Say if she was to growl or something like that, or if she is going to start behaving, pulling on the leash to get to the other dog, breaking her sit to get to the other dog, we're going to make sure and give her that pop and release correction when she does mess up, and continue on just going wherever you're going in a different way, whatever you have to do to get out of that situation. We still aren't going to allow her to act a fool though. So even though there is a crazy dog on the leash lunging at her, barking, being crazy, we're not going to allow her to in return do the same to that dog. So make sure if your dog is in obedience mode, if Mitzi is in obedience mode, there is no lunging allowed, no barking allowed, no growling allowed. You need to behave yourself right here. You don't have to necessarily like it, but I expect you to behave and do as I say, even if that distraction is a really big distraction. So just make sure you stick with your obedience in those situations. What not to do is freak out, because some people are, okay, you have this other dog barking, lunging, being crazy, and now your dog's starting to bark and lunge and be crazy. Some people just get overwhelmed and they're like, whoa, what's going on? Which I understand if you're not experienced. You might have that issue if you ever do experience it in the very beginning, just learning how to be calm. But what you're going to do, literally just be calm about it. Give her that correction. Keep that safe distance so that you're confident in your own handling, that nothing's going to happen out of the situation. I just need to get control over my own dog. And how you do that is, again, obedience. Yeah, just remain patient, because if you're not patient, you start freaking out, that's going to amp up your dog. That's going to amp up the situation of the other dog. If you're sitting there not knowing what to do because you're going crazy and these dogs are going at each other, just make sure you're going to give her that correction. You're just walking right on, or you're putting her into a sit, into a down, just something to get control and calm down the situation. But that's all I have to say with that. You're going to learn that in time, again, if she ever even shows it. I do know with her staying in this boarding facility before she does go to you guys, she's going to be super amped up when she gets out, Because here every day she's getting a bunch of exercise. Like she's running around all day long, she's training all day long, she's getting a lot done. So if you don't have something for her to do, or if I don't have something for her to do, I give her like interactive toys. I don't know if you're familiar with those, like puzzles. If I can send you some links if you're interested in those. But it kind of mentally drains her and physically drains her at the same time, instead of just having her roam around your house looking for things to get into because she hasn't got her exercise in for the day. But when you guys pick her up, I do want y'all to go over this video and make sure y'all have everything you think under control and how to handle her, because I know she's going to be super excited. She's probably going to just go crazy that she has some kind of human interaction. She's going to be really excited to see you guys. Just make sure, even from the point that you pick her up, obedience applies. So you're going to hook on that leash. This is not time for her to be able to jump on you and be crazy. I know y'all are really excited about the new adoption, and some people are like, oh, I don't care that she jumps on me because this is our first time seeing each other. It really is important that you set those boundaries, because she does know those boundaries. But she might try it with you guys because she's a little bit of a pusher, so she'll just wonder if you're going to give her a correction or not, or if she can run you over, and she will try probably. I do foresee that happening, but just know how to control her. Watch this video a few times. If you have any questions or anything like that I maybe haven't answered for you, just text me or shoot me a message, give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Alright, so doggy playtime. She plays with dogs every day. It goes well every single day. I do want you guys to know, though, how to do her doggy playtimes and things like that. So, she is a rough player. I want to go ahead and say that before you like put her with another dog and you're like, oh, I'm scared, because she's just going crazy, and sometimes she barks and growls, but she is playing. She's a very rough player. She like will tackle dogs and all that kind of good stuff. So don't be scared if she goes like bombarding the other dog after a while, because she doesn't do it in the very beginning. She's pretty respectful. But don't be scared about that. But one thing I do with her, though, sometimes she gets a little too amped up, I just take her for a break. So I'll take her inside, or I'll pin her up in her kennel for about 15 minutes, let her settle down, let the other dogs that she's been playing with get a chance to get away from her, because she can be a rough player. So everybody can have that break, so that frustration doesn't start between any of the dogs. You don't want Mitzi to get frustrated with another dog that may be picking on her, and you don't want the other dog that Mitzi's maybe picking on to get frustrated with her and possibly break out to a fight, anything like that. So again, she is a rough player. Don't be scared of her barking, maybe growling, playing. She probably will pounce on other dogs, because she's like I said, she's just a rough player. And then also make sure you do give her those breaks. Those breaks are really important. So if I had to think of a time, maybe 30 minutes break, 30 minutes break. But if you see that she's getting too amped up, or she's maybe getting irritable with the other dogs, go ahead and just give her a break. Just kind of watch that situation. That's with any dog, though. In those situations, sometimes when you're playing for a long time, you get tired, and then it's kind of like people, don't bug me when I'm tired kind of thing. So just make sure you're giving her a break during those play times. Alright, I just wanted to make like a quick clip over just her diet. So what I'm feeding her now is Taste of the Wild. It's salmon flavor. I did notice before I was feeding her Taste of the Wild, and it was some kind of chicken flavor. She did start to get a little splotchy on her belly and like itchy. It wasn't any big issues, but I know she was a little more uncomfortable than usual. So I switched her over to a fish-based, grain-free food. I actually do that for my own personal dogs, just because fish-based food, first of all, helps with their skin, helps with their hair, helps with shedding. So I just like to have that on them, have that for them anyways. And I noticed that it did actually go away on her belly when I switched her food from a chicken-based grain-free food to a salmon-based grain-free food. If for some reason you can't feed her just a fish-based food like a salmon flavor, just buy something other than chicken, and then buy something to supplement the fish oil. So you can actually buy like human capsules like the fish oil, and I poke it with like a safety pin and I'll drizzle it in their food. But if you have like a pet store around that is like a pump action salmon oil, then I recommend that. It's just super easy on you guys. And then I also feed her 4 cups of food a day, and it's at night. The only reason I do it at night is because I want her to be hungry for training during the day and not be full on her breakfast. When she does move in with you guys, I do recommend that you feed her twice a day, so AM and PM. She gets 4 cups, like I said. You can watch her weight. I don't know how much exercise you are going to be doing with her. It's always good to keep your dogs lean. You should be able to feel those ribs, not necessarily see them, but she is a very lean dog. You should be able to see her rib cage, but not every single rib. We don't want her looking like emaciated or anything like that. But make sure she still does keep her nice figure that she has. That's really important in a nice, healthy, and happy dog as well. But like I said, between 2 and 4 cups, if y'all are doing lots and lots of exercise with her, you can feed her more. Say if you're not exercising with her as much as you should, you can feed her a little less. Just make sure you're watching her diet. All right, so now I'm going to show you the leash grading, which we're just meeting between a fence here. So what you do, you want to make sure that you do have her prong off. You can just have a slip lead or a flat collar on, anything that doesn't give her an actual correction. So you just let them check out each other. If they don't pay any mind to each other, that's perfectly fine. Then I would allow the dog to come in, just because I don't see any hackles standing up. She's not growling. She's not showing any teeth. Neither is the other dog. So now we're just going to open this fence and let them in. All right, but also whenever they do come in, what I do is I bring her and I give her a little more distance. I don't just let them meet face to face. If they're still good with a little bit of distance, then we can bring them closer, which we're gonna do now. If they don't even make any, I guess if they're not even sniffing each other or anything like that, it's not a big deal. But if you want, you could also drop the leash at this point with the dogs. But that is how I greet dogs. Here, I just do it between a fence. If I'm not seeing anything negative, then I just continue on. All right. Yeah.